But you know what show was really depressing? Digimon. Remember, like, his sister almost dies?
Oh my god.
So
I don't remember.
Yeah, that show is dark.
And then he gets slapped, and his dad's like, "You were supposed to look out for your sister." And he's like, "Oh my god, I almost killed my
I
sister."
remember that. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Show. I was like traumatized apparently. I was holding that memory like deep within me.
You blocked it out. You blocked it out from your television past.
And I think childhood traumas are no better way to start a show than this. So with that, welcome to the Very TV Podcast, Episode 5. I am one of your hosts, Jonathan Dornbush. Alongside me is Yamilia Avendano.
Hi.
And Angela Anaconda herself, Julia Alexander.
Oh, hey.
And this week we're going to be talking to you about a few news stories that happened this week, along with the premiere of A to Z, one of NBC's new sitcoms in the fall, which got an early pilot showing online. We're also going to talk to you about some of the Emmy nominations before next week's show, and just any other crazy TV things we can think of in the meantime. But first off, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
I'm a little jet lagged, but doing okay.
You went overseas, correct?
Yeah.
I went across the pond. Yeah, went to go see my grandmother and check out the London blokes. It was.
Did you meet Queen Elizabeth?
I had reservations for tea, but I was like, yo, I don't have time for you. I'm sorry. I gotta go shopping.
You
Just
snubbed the Queen.
like just pass along my my hellos to Philip and the fam, but I'll catch you next time.
And of course you hung out with the doctor.
Of course.
Naturally.
Yeah. Naturally. I found him. I went into a phone booth and thought it was a regular phone booth, and it turned out, or no, police box. Oh my god, nerd cred gone.
You don't even know what you're doing. I don't even watch the show, and I knew that was wrong.
I know. Police box. Oh my god, please don't murder me on the internet. I got it wrong.
We may have to.
I know. There's a really funny thing that I will post at the end of at the end of this podcast for people who have listened to this podcast. We all say what our Twitter handles are. I'll tweet out this really funny video to Chris Hardwick and Craig Ferguson getting into a really big debate about Doctor Who. It's really fun.
I have not seen that. I know he's a huge Doctor fan.
Yeah.
And he's doing stuff for the new season of that show, so I may have to eventually get into it.
You're going to have to, I think.
Yeah, I can't avoid it anymore. But things that are happening in the world of TV this week, a couple things that I was excited about at least. The Leftovers got a second season renewal. Have you been watching it, Julia? I know you hate dramas, Yami, but Julia, have you been watching it all?
You know what? I watched the first 4 episodes, and then I just lost track of watching it. But it'll be one of those shows that once it's done in its entirety, I'm sure I will sit down one Thursday and just watch.
Okay, yeah. I would definitely say I think they're through season or episode 6. I think by the time this podcast airs, it'll be through episode 7. But that show has gotten so amazing. Like even past the first 4 episodes, which had that one with the priest that everyone loves.
Mm-hmm.
The next few episodes, they were just absolutely fantastic, and I'm so excited by the show now. And so it's good they'll have a second season. It came pretty late. They've already shown so many episodes, and usually HBO likes to renew things before they even go on the air. But still, it's pretty exciting for a show that really doesn't have a mythology, even though most people I think want it to, which is kind of fun.
And I haven't read the book, but I know it's based on a book. And do they have enough to carry it out for a couple of more seasons, or are they kind of going to just write their own material and stray away from the book entirely?
Well, so the thing is, even so far, they have so far strayed away from the book.
Right.
The book was the closest thing to the book was really the pilot.
Of course.
And everything since has been completely different. So I think they're totally fine with that, because the writer of the book is one of the producers on the show, so he's heavily involved with it.
That's good.
So it's working out pretty well. I actually like all of the changes they've been making so far, because I enjoyed the book, but it wasn't the best. I thought, I've liked the show more than the book, which is rare. So.
Interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting.
We totally. I'm sorry. You went, then I went, then you went, then I went. Have you read the Game of Thrones books at all?
I read the first chapter 3 times because I keep trying to get into the book and then I can't.
It's long.
Yeah, I've been meaning to.
And Yami, I'm assuming Yami hasn't read it because Yami doesn't like dramas. So
Oh, yeah, no, definitely not.
there would be
Also,
either.
she can't read, so that's also
Yeah,
a problem.
thanks
Oh,
for
can you
bringing
not
that
read?
up.
Oh,
Terrible memory.
Yeah,
I'm so
I,
sorry.
that's why
I
she
tried
never
to
reads my
watch it.
emails, because she can't actually read them.
I
Oh, I'm
didn't,
so
yeah,
sorry.
exactly. I didn't read the books ever because I'm not into fantasy books, but I tried to watch the show, and I only watched one episode.
That's
Uh,
fair. At least you tried, though. At least you tried.
I try with dramas.
It's all we
Just one
can ask
episode.
for. But
Dramas
at
are
least
hard.
other,
Dramas are hard. 'Cause
yeah,
you have to devote
yeah,
so much time to it, and
And you have to care about being like sad. I avoid negativity like the plague, so I'm just like, please don't kill this character. Character dies. Oh, I'm never gonna watch you again, you
yeah.
piece of shit.
then you will not like Game of Thrones.
Exactly. Game of Thrones, like everybody dies. I'm like, okay, never mind. I don't want to watch that.
um, but speaking of shows that have been killing people, spoilers, which I won't actually reveal. Orange is the New Black.
Yes.
You'll never know what that meant until you actually watch it. But season 3, they've talked about how Mike Birbiglia is going to be on the show
Oh my god,
in a
yay!
recurring role.
I love him.
I'm really excited for that, especially because the male cast has pretty much been a bunch of like terrible people in the jail. I don't think they have details on his role yet, but
And terrible people outside of the jail. I mean, Jason Biggs is just. I'm so bored of Jason Biggs' character.
yeah, that's the problem. Like, it's not that he's like the worst person in the world. It's just his character is so boring. Like, I don't care about that part of the show anymore.
Absolutely.
And occasionally they would do good things with it, but I was like, I care so much less about this part of the show that I'd rather you just take the time and efforts to focus on the jail.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited by that. It's funny because I did see a comment by the casting director who said that in the jail they want to make sure they never cast a familiar face because then it becomes all about that person. I think obviously Mark Birbiglia is not the biggest actor, so this isn't necessarily going against that, but I think it's interesting that they're going with him. Obviously, they probably have something very specific for him in mind.
Oh, it's a comedy role.
Yeah.
Then I'll start watching.
That will get you. It's funny because it's one of those dramedies, right? It's kind of like, well, it's kind of funny, but in a really serious, dark, twisted way. So.
And I'm fine with those. Like, I watched Shameless. I watched House of Lies.
Oh, House of Lies is great.
Yeah.
I think the first season is more outright comedic than the second season. I mean, there's definitely funny stuff in the second season, but I feel like the first season definitely leaned more towards comedy. But that's just me.
I'll only watch the first season then.
Okay, that's good. Then you missed the...
Yeah, it got really. It definitely changed its tone in the second season, which I appreciated. I mean, it was a new change, and Genji Cohen's sitcoms are always kind of weird. I mean, even Weeds to some extent was a serious endeavor, especially later on in the later seasons, but it was still funny.
Yeah, but that's also the thing that worries me about Weeds is because that show really petered out in its last few seasons, and I don't want that to happen to Orange is the New Black because I love this show so much. I'd rather they go out on a high note. So.
Yeah, I agree, 100%.
But things that are a bit more comedic, man, my segues are just rocking this week. Netflix has slated 4 new comedy specials through the end of the year. They include Chelsea Handler getting a special, Jim Jeffries, Chelsea Peretti of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and
I know, me too.
The Cosby. And so yeah, weirdly enough, probably the one I'm most excited for of the 4 is Chelsea Peretti, because I haven't seen too much of her stand-up, and I kind of want to see how she is now.
I think I saw her I feel like I did a Comedy Central Presents back in the early 2000s type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Back when I feel like it was her, but it might have been another comedian though, so never mind. But I think she's hilarious. And I follow her on Twitter because she's really funny, and she plays the character that she plays so freaking well in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
I thought you meant she played the same kind of character.
Yeah, she is.
I see what you're saying.
No,
she's pretty much that character too.
I don't know who that girl is, her name. Fuck, I forgot it. But she plays that character very well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so she's getting a special. Bill Cosby is, which I haven't seen a stand-up special from him in decades, I want to say.
I don't think I've ever seen one of his.
I've seen bits. I've heard he's been going around a lot recently, but he does like 3-hour shows, so I have no idea what the Netflix special is going to look like.
3 hours is too long.
That's so long.
Yeah, I've heard people like he goes in for like 2.5 hour, 3 hour, and there's like 5 different topics though. Like he spends like half hour on a topic, and they're really funny, but he goes through just like as much as he can through an entire topic. So I'm curious what they'll do with that special.
Is Bill Cosby? I mean, I wonder what the interest is for a Bill Cosby special to begin with.
Yeah, because didn't he have a scandal tied to him?
I believe so.
Somebody or something?
Yeah, I loosely know what you're referring to, but I think this is coming out of the fact that he's got a sitcom coming to NBC next year.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to this is probably like helping in the promotional stuff because he's been out of the spotlight for so long. This sort of helps build that back up.
An extremely long time, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean he's still one of the most famous comics of all time, and so Netflix gets to say, look, we're getting people like Bill Cosby for our specials, so why don't you come and do specials with? Yes.
Do those sitcoms ever work? Those like sitcoms, for example, Martin Lawrence and Frasier. No, Kelsey Grammer, them coming back and be like, we're back to television, make a sitcom together. Does anybody watch those sitcoms? Like, yes, they were crazy great actors back in the day. Frasier was very popular. Martin was very popular. Does anybody care to see them again?
I think the answer to that really is case in point, Joey. Did anybody watch Joey? Right? It was just like, Joey was great, and true Friends fan. You're a true Friends fan.
I watched like all 3 seasons of that show.
I watched all
Friends. I was pissed.
But yeah,
that it existed.
couldn't watch Joey. Thank God Matt LeBlanc is on episodes now. It's a great show.
Episodes.
But yeah, Joey was just like it feels like they're trying too hard to keep it going, whether it be from a monetary perspective, whether it be from just a egotistical perspective. It feels like it's going way too hard. And they've all admitted it was a mistake later. I mean, in a recent interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Matt LeBlanc said, looking back on Joey, they knew they were making a mistake. You look at someone like Vince Gilligan, who said Better Call Saul, they're hoping it's going to be really great, but if it doesn't turn out great, then at least they know they tried.
Yeah.
I mean, so I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see Cosby come back, actually.
I do think the Martin and Kelsey Grammer show is a special case because that's one of those FX shows where it's they order 10 episodes, and if those episodes reach a certain audience threshold, they order 90 more.
That's a great method.
It's because they then film like 30 at a time. Like in a couple weeks, they just film like constantly.
FX does that a lot.
Yeah, this is their 3rd or 4th one. The first one was the Charlie Sheen show. That did get the 100-episode order. Then there was the George Lopez show, which did not reach the audience threshold, and that one canceled out. So I don't know how that show's been doing. But yeah, I'm not sure. The Cosby one is on NBC. It reminds me where I'd say it's more analogous to the Michael J. Fox sitcom that came out last year.
Well, that's another case where it's like, he was great in that show. Watch him on this one. No, that's basically nobody wants to.
But see, like the thing is, it's like he was actually, because I watched most of that show. And
I watched it too. It was actually pretty good.
Yeah, and he was really funny on it. Like he still got it, but the show's writing and that quality wasn't up to him.
Exactly.
And I think the Michael J. Fox show was really interesting because I remember talking to people about it coming up, and I said, "Are you going to watch Michael J. Fox show?" And a lot of them the answer was yes, like they were going to, but only because they wanted to see him with Parkinson's, like they would want to see how he was acting. And I thought that was interesting. Like it's not right. People shouldn't be like, yeah, I want to see how he's doing now that he's got this horrible disease.
Yeah, that's not the best reason to watch.
But it was kind of this huge return to television.
I felt awkward laughing at the jokes, like at the expense of his Parkinson's.
Well, that's what the pilot of that show is very much built around being like, look, it's okay to laugh, like, because so many of the jokes in that pilot are about either his Parkinson's or about how it's like affected his life, and it's basically like a statement, like, look, you can laugh at me, it's okay, I'm laughing at me.
Did you guys ever?
I still couldn't laugh. I was like, oh god.
Well, that's the thing, right? Did you guys ever watch the episode of Curb where Michael J. Fox on Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, and so the whole episode there's a part where Larry David goes to him and he's like, hey, can you get me like a Coke out of the fridge? So Michael J. Fox goes to get the Coke and hands it back. He opens it up and it goes everywhere. And he's like, it's okay, what's your problem? Michael J. Fox just looks at him and he's like, Parkinson's. And so you laugh and you're like, oh, we shouldn't be laughing at this. But I'm going to laugh because it's funny. Yeah, it's like
that's in the New York season, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it's a very touchy subject. I mean, this will be different. I don't think Bill Cosby is going to come on and be like, look, I say pudding pops a lot, so it's okay to laugh at that. But I'm curious to see what his comedy is like at this point in his life.
Yeah, I think I'll be tuning in just to see if it's a train wreck at this point.
I see it fail.
Which may be fun.
So the straightest face.
I don't think that show's coming out until the special's coming out in November, I believe, but his sitcom is not coming out, I think, until next summer, possibly.
Right.
So a comedy that we will be able to see somewhat earlier is A to Z on NBC, also on NBC. This is a sitcom from Ben Queen. It stars Ben Feldman and Kristen Milioti, who was the mother on How I Met Your Mother. For way too short a time.
Much better role was her guest starring in 30 Rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's executive produced by Rashida Jones and Will McCormick of Will and Grace. And it's going to premiere on October 2nd, but the pilot was hosted early by, I believe, iHeartRadio. It was like an extended version of the pilot. And the show tells the story of Andrew and Zelda and the entirety of their relationship from A to Z. It's narrated by Katie Seagal of Married with Children or Sons of Anarchy fame or Futurama fame.
Oh, is that who it is? Okay.
Yeah, it's Katie Seagal.
I was like, Leela!
And so she's going to detail the relationship. The pilot, even in her narration, it talks about how their relationship lasts only a certain amount of time. What happens after that relationship, they don't say, but they're dating, they go out for a certain amount of time. And the pilot is about how they meet. And so I want to hear both of your thoughts on it, but before we do, I just want to say this is the most 500 Days of Summer thing outside of 500 Days of Summer to ever exist.
It is 500 Days of Summer to the T.
Yeah.
It could not be more twee 500 Days of Summer than anything else I've ever seen.
Isn't it weird that Will McCormick, who I love, Will and Grace, oh my god, and Rashida Jones, who I also love, are working together? Like, isn't that so random? Are they friends?
They may be.
It's possible. We can only hope.
In our minds, they are. They're best friends. They have marshmallow parties.
I think it's time to write some celebrity fan fiction.
Yes.
Oh.
It's his Grace in real life.
Let's do it right now, guys. We'll end the podcast here.
That won't get awkward for 20 minutes. But yeah, so what did you both think about the show?
I think, Yami, you go first. This is your area.
Okay, I didn't think it was funny at all. Here's the thing about it. But I loved the idea. Mm-hmm. I think it's a unique and cool way of telling a story. I think that the jokes need a lot of polishing. I have faith that it'll get better. I really like the two main actors. That guy was in a cheesy romantic comedy that was a blatant advertisement for Virgin Airlines.
I believe Departure Time was the title I found.
Something like that. Yeah. I forgot what else he was in, but whatever. And but anyways, I think they're great actors, but I don't know. I think I'm worried. I'm worried that it's gonna suck because the dialogue might be stupid. Like there was an unnecessary scene. Completely, that whole Back to the Future thing is just thrown in there randomly.
The movie part, I just thought, like, what is this?
It was random, and I was like.
I thought the first line about him thinking it was real, it was a funny enough idea, but like they went really far with it, which I didn't expect them to do.
Yeah, the last scene is pretty funny, but I don't know. I don't think it's funny enough to be that random.
No, yeah.
And. That happened a lot, where a lot of it wasn't really funny. I thought the funniest thing were the two co-workers that were like arguing back and forth and like clearly talking about each other.
Oh, and then he starts writing on walls windows because he thinks he's Mark Zuckerberg when it actually doesn't make you Mark Zuckerberg.
Exactly.
I liked that one. Yeah,
that was a good
comedy. One. That was comedy, but it wasn't really, really funny. So yeah, no, that's my thing. Where I just hope it gets better. I know it's the pilot, so it's probably gonna be polished and be better. I'm hoping that it's going to be better because I love 500 Days of Summer. So.
And what about you, Julia?
Well, I took notes because that is what that's what I do.
Julia doesn't like the things that like I normally like. Just from You're the Worst. Just from then.
So A to Z, I completely agree. I think it was a cute premise, and I just think it was executed horribly. So yeah. I'm kind of tired. You guys, Jonathan, you guys said it best. It's 500 Days of Summer to the T, and I'm tired of quirky girl with like the really kind of shy but cute guy meeting and like immediately thinking they're perfect for each other. And then the other thing I hated about the only thing I really hated about this entire episode was that it felt like an hour and a half rom-com condensed into like 26 minutes. Like there was like they went on a date and then it was weird, and then something else happened and then it was weird, and then like they end up getting together at the end of it, and I was like, this is a mini movie. Like I've seen an entire mini movie.
It was almost rushed.
At the same time, it almost felt too thin because of that. Like to me, it goes through like way too much, but then it also doesn't feel like it spends enough time on any of it to really matter.
It was super rushed. That whole date scene where he's like, and I swear you're the one. You know, it's his destiny. Like, whoa, this escalated very quickly. What the fuck?
but one of the things I really, really, really liked about it was I like the concept of the online dating in 2014. So, like, he adds her as a friend on Facebook, and then she's reading his tweets, and he's going through her Instagram. And I'm like, because that's what people actually do. That is how people get to know someone. They're like, yeah, what's your Twitter handle? What's your like? And you creep, right? They creep each other. Even like
it's what I'm doing right now to people I met yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what everyone does. I do it to people I meet like on the street. I'm just like, who are you? Like, what is your name so I can find you? but I thought, yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I thought it was an interesting premise, but there's not enough comedy for a sitcom. It wasn't funny. It was no.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very resolute sort of decision on it. Just no.
But Jonathan, what about you?
No, yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think like I'm definitely going to give it a few more episodes because I like the two main actors so much.
Yes.
I thought that like despite the show not really making me laugh all that much, outside of like maybe one or two times I would smirk, I liked them so much. I really like Ben Feldman and Kristen Milioti, and I thought like the side characters they are like planting the seeds for something that could be good going forward. Like in terms of their best friends, that the plot line wraps itself up within the half hour, so I don't know what they're going to do with the next. They're kind of like blank slates again, but I think the two of them did a really good job of making me want to watch them. I just wish the script was up to their level, sort of thing.
I'm really happy to see her too in a role that isn't just the mother. You know what I mean? Like I thought she got a decent amount of screen time on the last season of How I Met Your Mother, but I thought she was just such an interesting
but not nearly.
Yeah, and she's naturally like cute. Like I want to watch her. She's very likable. So I thought that the two main leads did a great job. I thought his like best friend I thought was. I mean, it was a cliched character type, but I thought he was kind of funny. So it'll be interesting to see. I want to get your opinions on something, though. What do you guys think of the fixed timeline? I think it's going to be, if it does pick up, I think it's going to be really hard for them to stretch out that 8 months.
Well, yeah, I was having that conversation with someone. I was like, what do they do? Do they go day by day? That'll be the most boring show ever.
Exactly.
I mean, definitely.
I was thinking they were going to go literally through the alphabet.
They are in the episode titles. It's going to be like A is for whatever, like that's what the pilot is, and then it goes like B is for whatever, C is for etc.
That's interesting. It's almost like they know that. And I was counting it out, right? So 8 months. That's how long they have, right? So September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, which is fall television season.
Yeah, it's one season of a show. That's the.
It's like they've written this for one season. They're gonna have their one season, and it'll be like their little. It's not an anthology, but they'll end it after that because I can't.
What
see
if they did
on for 5 seasons?
What if
they ended it there?
Anthology romance? About that, how that doesn't exist, and wouldn't you watch that if it did?
If it ended there, I'd be so down for it ending it there. Because
I think
that means that for once in their lives, they created people behind shows created a show and knew when to end it. That thing.
But like, if it was like every season was just like a new relationship that they went through as like an anthology rom, like that, I don't think that's the point at all of the show. But I would totally watch that.
Yeah.
Like I need to see where the show goes in the next 4 or 5 episodes. But I don't want them stretching this out to be like, we're going to go day by day of their relationship, or like month by month we're going to do like 4 or 5 episodes. There's not enough.
It wouldn't work with the whole alphabet thing. It's just like 26 episodes.
Well, I think they said they have a contingency plan, but they haven't said what it is. They know that if they get more episodes, they know what they want to do next, or at least the creator does. I think I remember him saying that, but I don't know what the plan is.
I was thinking about it just now, and I'm like so much more jaded. Like what my thoughts were going into. God, they got together so fast. That was a stupid scene with her going up the stairs and looking slow mo, like cheesy, even for me. And I'm like cheese ball over here. I'm like, ugh, roll eyes. Had that whole party scene. Now I'm jaded.
Like we know there's a certain amount of time, so it's like, how is the show going? Like we know they're going to be together for the length of the show. Unless they take a break halfway through and become Ross and Rachel all over again.
You never put characters together too fast. Moonlighting taught us this.
And this did it in the first 22 minutes.
Exactly. That's why I was like, ugh. Well, I think, okay, it might be good. Let's be optimistic. We gotta give the show at least 3 episodes.
But can we just say how kind of creepy it was? I mean, he obviously learned her name because she went into the dating service. Then he added her as a friend on Facebook, and then she accepted. Like, they only had that one conversation.
That was a weird
he was entering creepy territory.
It's creepy territory.
People to look her up.
Yeah, it's creepy territory. And, like, there's don't get me wrong, dear listeners, there is socially acceptable creeping. But you don't let anybody know you're doing it. Like, you like somebody, you creep them. I get that. Like, you check their Instagram and their Twitter and their Facebook. I get that. But you don't let them know you're creeping them. You can't.
Exactly. Also, what does it say about him that he was holding on to this one girl that he saw for like 10 seconds at a concert?
Who smiled at him? Who gave him like a...
You gotta really like believe in love at first sight at that point. It's like, and it's like that already. You can tell this guy's as much of an idiot as the guy from Tom from 500 Days of Summer.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just gonna say, it's in every rom-com. It's usually guy kind of likes girl really likes guy. Something happens, guy makes a mistake, so they end up breaking up and inevitably get back together. 500 Days of Summer, as much as I dislike that movie.
What is wrong with you?
I know. I'm sorry. It's Zooey Deschanel. I don't like Zooey Deschanel.
And yet you have her haircut.
I know. I have Katy Perry's hair.
And yet
you are her Banks
all the time. It's weird.
You know what? I know I don't like Zooey Deschanel, but I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt. But what I liked about that movie...
New Girl? I'm sorry, this brings up so many different things.
I don't watch New Girl. I don't watch New Girl. I've never seen an episode of New Girl.
Minus the last season had some issues, but yeah, New Girl is so...
Yeah, the last season was whatever, but come on.
Okay, so I will watch New Girl. I promise. I will solemnly swear I will watch New Girl. But
500 Days of Summer is so great. I'm sorry, we have to talk about this after. Say what you're gonna say.
I can't remember where I was going with it, but what I didn't like about it, I mean, it was. No, what I did like about it. Sorry, I did like about it was that it was guy kind of falls in love with girl, girl's not into guy really, and then they kind of come around, which I think is a nice opposition to the usual rom-com trope. But I'm bored of it. Like, I don't like the clueless kind of fantastical guy and quirky, like, look at me, I'm adorable kind of girl. It's never worked for me. And I know it's huge. For me, I've just never been like, meh. Yeah, doesn't do anything for me.
Wait, what do you mean? What are you not into? What do you explain? Like, give an example of a movie.
Okay, so like rom-coms that I generally like. If I'm gonna watch a rom-com, I generally like it if both characters are a little bit more strong-headed. Oh, like for example, like what was the movie with Mila Kunis and Justin
Friends with Benefits.
Thank you. I love Friends.
That's why I'm like good. Really intrigued on knowing what you're talking about.
We're gonna get Yami a button. Boom.
Yeah, Friends with Benefits is amazing. I totally agree.
That movie is so
which one do you not like? For example, let me give you examples. Do you not like for example,
You
wedding
are so
planner.
serious right now. This is great.
Yeah, I need to know. This is how you get me into a conversation. Wedding Planner with Jennifer Lopez and Matthew McConaughey.
I hate Wedding Planner.
Okay, makes sense. You don't like the idea of a girl being super into a guy first.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Then are you saying
do you
that
believe
you
in
like...
true love?
Oh my god, we're getting to this is like eHarmony territory.
I completely agree. I completely agree with Julia.
In 20 questions or more, we can find out your true match.
I'm a sucker for rom-coms in general, but I completely agree with Julia. Like, Friends with Benefits is one of the best movies in rom-coms. When Harry Met Sally, all over the place.
Oh, I love When Harry Met Sally.
But I still love Wedding Planner and shit like that. But so then, are you saying that you liked the A to Z, the whole? Because she was apprehensive or whatever.
No, but I did. But I don't like the quirky but look at me, I'm so quirky kind of girl. Remember in the first the opening scene, she's standing as the blind woman for justice. That's her thing.
Yeah.
And she's got the sword. And she kind of looks a little awkward, but it's cute awkward. I think because of Zooey Deschanel, I think that's just been ruined for me. I think because that's her character every single time.
Isn't that called Manic Pixie Dream Girl? When a girl's like, look at me,
I'm
cranky as fuck.
Yeah, or Natalie Portman, or Natalie Portman in Garden State. Although I do like Natalie.
Yeah, Garden State was a huge.
I'm tired of that trope. I'm tired of seeing that character. I'd rather give me an original female character and an original male character in a romantic comedy situation, and I will watch you till the end of time.
I disagree with A to Z having that though. I think that she's not so much quirky as she is just super against romance, it seems.
Because of the divorce.
Yeah, there are hints of her quirkiness. I feel like the guy is quirkier than she is.
I feel the guy's way. He's creepy.
He is creepy.
Which leads me to 500 Days of Summer. I think it's the exact same. I swear to God, they just copied 500 Days of Summer.
It worked, right? I mean, 500 Days of Summer was one of the most beloved movies.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Why don't you like it?
It's Zooey Deschanel. It honestly, no offense to her whatsoever. I just don't like Zooey Deschanel.
You absolutely. What do you like about her? Because she grew up. I hated her. Let me tell you, I hated her. And then I watched New Girl, and she grew up.
Maybe I have to watch New Girl. Maybe I have to watch New Girl, and then she'll grow on me again. Because I didn't mind her, although she played the same character. I didn't mind her in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
But I hate her in everything else, and I don't know what it is. I'm just I see her. I'm just don't talk.
When she's acting like the quirky girl that she kind of puts on that persona. Because this is weird because I know so many girls, there's a disproportionate amount of people I know when I ask about Zooey Deschanel. The girls usually hate her and the guys are either they like her or whatever. No guy I've met hates Zooey Deschanel.
I have a friend who loves sitcoms too. She's my fellow sitcom lover in Miami. She hates Zooey Deschanel because she hates Manic Pixie Dream Girls because she's those girls get the guys always.
They do always get the guys.
Damn quirky girls.
Do you know what I think it is?
It doesn't hurt. I'm not going to lie.
It doesn't hurt to be quirky.
Do you know what I think it is? It's not even the quirky factor that gets. And now we're going to biological territory. I think it's men. You know how not. I'm generalizing here, so it's not everybody. But generally, men are attracted to younger women and women are attracted to older men. But I think the quirky kind of help me, you know what I mean? Help me. Oh, I can't do this. Help me. I think men cling to that. They're kind of I can help you. I can save you. I can do this. And it's, so I think men find that. It's oh, yeah, I can save this girl. Manic Pixie Dream Girl, I can save this girl. Zach Braff with Natalie Portman. Although Natalie Portman saved him, he was kind of this girl's crazy. I kind of dig it.
It's kind of weird, though, isn't it? Because, I don't know. What makes a quirky girl then? What makes a quirky leading woman? Because I'm quirky.
I
think you're quirky.
My kind of
Julia. I think
you're quirky too.
I'm quirky. I
think we're all quirky. I think people are quirky.
I think we're quirky, but we're
not adorable.
I think. Yami's adorable. Yami's adorable.
Oh,
but I think
you're adorable.
I just think we're. I don't want to use the word independent, but I don't think there's this vibe that they give off on these shows that it's help me, I need help, I want a guy, I need help, and I hate that. Maybe that's the inner feminist in me, and I'm no.
They've never listened to Kelly Clarkson, Miss Independent, though.
Yeah,
I love that
right now.
song. Oh my God, that was my jam. Yeah, no, I totally get it now. I get it. You might still not really like New Girl. I don't know. Watch New Girl and then tell me what you think.
I think you would like it because the guys are so funny on that show.
The guys are really
Nick?
the best. Schmidt is one of the best characters in recent sitcom history.
Is that the guy? Who's the guy from New Girl that's in Let's Be Cops?
That's Nick
There's Nick,
Okay.
and then there's also Marlon Wayans.
Jr.
Yes.
Yeah, he's in the third season because he was in the pilot, and then
Which I hate that they added him in. Like, I love that guy. I love them happy endings. I adore him. It's just don't change casts.
Well, see, he worked better on the show when he started acting like his happy endings character.
Yes,
that's
that's what made him
yeah,
great. But they keep going back to his other stupid character that makes no sense.
Yeah, but I do also like, and I don't want to go into too many spoilers because Julia, you should watch it, but Winston,
watch it.
they've never really known what to do with Winston.
They
but
never did, but then they decided to make him crazy, and it's
Yeah,
awesome.
the third season is just Winston being batshit every
Yes.
episode, and he does all this weirdest crap, and like him with the cat when he's threatening to kill a cat for an entire episode, and that's really dark, but it is so.
He's so great. My favorite quirk of Winston. Winston was the most boring freaking character. I hated him for the first season. He got so good. That he can't pull a prank. He takes it too far. He's like, hey, we gotta pull a prank on Nick. Yeah. Hey, I got it. Get lighter fluid and set him on fire.
What if we drug him with elephant tranquilizers and throw him out the window? That would be hilarious. That
show's freaking great. Yeah, Julia, watch it.
I will, guys. I promise. I'm going to watch it. There's so many shows, and it's on Netflix, so I'm going to do it.
Yay!
Yes, it is.
Let me know what you think.
That and Hannibal.
Because
Ooh, Hannibal. That actually, we should talk about Hannibal after the podcast because that gives me an idea. But anyway.
Hannibal. I haven't watched it.
It's really
I'm
good.
just curious. I'm curious about it because a lot of people love that show. So I'm like
it's
intrigued.
so good. That show is fantastic.
It's
easily one of the
about a
best
killer,
shows.
isn't it? It's about Hannibal.
It's filmed in Toronto, and I've never seen any of these fucking people.
Really?
Like, I'm like, I know where you're filming. I know exactly where you are. Like, but I've never seen you in my hood.
No, yeah, that show's easily one of the best network dramas out there, which I know is not like the highest bar anymore, but it's easily like top 2 or 3.
Yeah, a lot of people like it.
It's fantastic. Like if it were on an HBO or Showtime or AMC, it would be getting so much more attention than when it's on Fridays at 10 p.m. on NBC. Like it totally gets snubbed for the Emmys, which is awful every year because it easily deserves, like everyone on that show deserves an Emmy.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking of Emmys, oh my God, where did I pull that out? It's almost like I said that line just so I could segue. But the Emmys are next week on Monday, I believe, August 25th. The weirdest time, I think. Am I wrong? Am I wrong about that? Because I'm going to feel like an idiot.
You might be.
But I'm pretty sure they are August 25th, Monday. Because the Creative Arts Emmys were just this past weekend.
8 p.m. Eastern.
Thank you very much, Ami. So before we get to the Emmys, I thought we could run through a couple of the very big categories just to kind of get through. Since we haven't gotten to too many, let's go for some of those. I think we'll start with the lead actors because those are the first on this list that I have in front of me. So we'll start with Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series. We'll try to keep it short for each one just so we can get through a bunch. But you have Jim Parsons for Big Bang Theory, Ricky Gervais for Derek, Matt LeBlanc for Episodes, Don Cheadle for House of Lives, Louis for Louie, and William H. Macy for Shameless. Because Louis is the only show I watch regularly on that list, I am going with Louis. But so what do you both think?
Sorry, I'm looking for the list. I love Louis C.K., but then I started watching Shameless, and I genuinely think that William H. Macy is really funny with comedy. So I'm like torn now.
Yami is the winner of the day.
I started watching it because of you. Did I tell you that? I like went through the whole first season in like a week. I was like, oh my god.
Do you love it?
I love it. It's so good.
How good is Lip? I love Lip.
Oh, Lip is great.
I would have been so into Lip had this show came out in high school. Like, he's exactly the type of guy I was into.
In high school, yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Do you guys watch Skins? Or have you ever watched Skins?
I watched a little bit of it, actually. Yeah.
Okay, there was a character in season 3 or series 3 and 4 called Cook, and Cook reminds me of Lip, And I'm just like, yeah, exactly. Like, you take the words out of my mouth, my dear. You're my soulmate. But, like, she, like...
Cook? Is that who it is?
Yeah. In high school... Right? I know, in high school he would have been my type exactly. But yeah, so I'm with you, Yami. William H. Macy, just his acting in that show is incredible.
Really good, yeah. And he's like kind of Joker-y. Like, he's the Joker a little bit.
I get that comparison. That works, actually. I stopped watching in the second season, but I'm happy he got a nomination finally. He was in drama. He was never getting one, so it's good that he did now.
He made a really snide comment about it at the Emmys. No, sorry, at the Emmys at a Hollywood Reporter like roundtable interview. They asked him about why Shameless never got nominated, and he was just like, because I think what did he say? Something along the lines of we're too intelligent for them to classify us as one genre. And I was like, whoo, he's pissed. Somebody nominated him.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, it was great.
Who would you go? Oh, right, Louis C.K., right, JD?
Yeah, I'm Louis all the way.
Louis C.K.
I assume it's probably going to be Jim Parsons, because that tends to happen.
Oh, come on, he can't win again.
He already won, and he's getting, what, $1 million an episode? I mean, he's fine. He doesn't need another award. Like, he's going to be just fine.
But I think a category that will have maybe a little more competition going in it is the lead actor in a drama. That you have Bryan Cranston for Breaking Bad, Kevin Spacey for House of Cards, Jon Hamm for Mad Men, Emmy Award winner Jeff Daniels for The Newsroom, and then Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey for True Detective.
All of them are going against each other.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is a hugely stacked category. And with Jeff Daniels winning last year, I really can't say who they'll vote for. But
yeah, that's weird.
I want Bryan Cranston to win. I think it's going to be Matthew McConaughey. I think either of them winning is totally okay. But for me, just because it's the last Breaking Bad season, and I just want him to get one more Emmy because I think what he did on that show is so amazing, and I just want him to win. But
I want Bryan Cranston to win, but for Malcolm in the Middle.
For best drama, yeah, for outstanding lead actor in a drama for Malcolm in the Middle, yeah.
Same way that I would want Matt LeBlanc to win for Friends.
I'm in the same boat with you. Like, if Allison Janney wins for best guest appearance, it will be for West Wing.
She won last night for best guest actress.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, so hopefully that carries through till next Monday, not this Monday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, not tomorrow. Next Monday.
You know what? Oh my God! Am I gonna be in stupid Seattle during? I am. PAX is running everything.
Oh, right, PAX, yeah.
PAX is running my life.
I'll have to live text it to you while you're...
Yeah, you have to. And I'm just going to, sit in the press room watching it. I don't give a shit about PAX anymore.
Just talking, everyone's talking video games, and Yami's got, the Emmys going. She's like, I can't do it.
Keep it down, please.
But Julia, who are you going for? I assume McConaughey?
All right, so let's get the obvious out of the way. Jon Hamm, you've been nominated every year. You haven't won, so you're not winning this year. I want everyone on this list to win. I think I'm the opposite of you, Jonathan, actually, the exact opposite. I want Matthew McConaughey to win, but I think they'll give it to Bryan Cranston because it's Breaking Bad last season.
Interesting. I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a split between best drama and best actor in a drama, and one of the shows is going to get best actor and one is going to get best drama, but I don't know which. I really think it could go either way.
I was going to say, I think...
Like, if I were going off of that and I thought, who deserved each of those, I think Breaking Bad should get best drama, and I think McConaughey should get best actor, if you're going to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's the right way to go, but... I could see it going the opposite way, and that'd be totally acceptable in a sense.
I don't think it's too forward to say that Bryan Cranston's character Walter White on Breaking Bad is the 2010 era's whatever version of Tony Soprano. I think he's become an archetype for other characters that are going to come out. I think people saw what he could do, how deranged a character could be, and how well an audience would perceive that, and now we'll see a lot more of this happen. I don't think without Bryan Cranston in Breaking Bad, we would have had Matthew McConaughey in True Detective.
No, probably not. I don't think so.
So I think he deserves an Emmy for that.
Awesome. It's an exciting race to watch. It's one of the ones where I think it's just such a stacked category.
It's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous category.
Yeah. Also, so we'll move over to lead actress in a comedy series, which has Lena Dunham for Girls, Melissa McCarthy for Mike and Molly, Edie Falco for Nurse Jackie, Taylor Schilling for Orange is the New Black, Amy Poehler for Parks and Rec, Julie Louis-Dreyfus for Veep. I think JLD has it in the bag for Veep. But that is just me. What about you guys?
Amy Poehler, because, oh my god, my spirit animal.
Oh, I love her, yeah. I wish she would win.
I want her to win for Parks and Rec, you know? It was one of my favorite sitcoms in recent years. Veep is so good, too. I love JLD, my bestie, you know? But I want Amy Poehler to win.
It would be nice. What about you, Julia?
Well, Jonathan, I think I'm gonna have to give it to my.
That was so serious.
to my number one girl. I gotta give JLD. Edie Falco. I think Julie Louis-Dreyfus in Veep is just the greatest act. You know, it's tough. It's between her and Amy Poehler for me. That's the two.
Yeah. I gotta watch Orange is the New Black. I've never seen Nurse Jackie either. Girls depresses me. It's like a depressing Sex and the City. I can't watch it. And I love Melissa McCarthy, but I feel like I wouldn't like her in Mike and Molly.
And I recently started rewatching Sex and the City Gang, and I forgot how great Sex and the City was.
Such a good show.
Such a good show. And I was rewatching it, and I was just like, Girls just feels like the pretentious Sex and the City. Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels so pretentious. It's like, we're smarter because we go to university or college and we are editors, and it's like, no, like.
I tried.
It's like, go have brunch. Go have brunch and talk.
Sex and the City is like the glamorous one, and then Girls is like the really depressing, dark one. There's like, I don't want to.
I mean, I think that was kind of the point. She made like the pilot of Girls has like 3 Sex and the City references in it. I think for that very reason.
And I think what Lena Dunham has created. I mean, don't get me wrong. I will watch Girls until the end. Like I do love Girls. I think what Lena Dunham has created is really spectacular, and I think she's an incredibly talented individual. That being said, I do not like Lena Dunham. It's like I respect her so much. I have so much admiration for her for what she's done, but I don't like her. And I think she's a pretentious person. And I think because I'm pretentious, I see that in other people, and I'm like, I don't like it. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Like I see that, and I'm just like, I don't. Yeah.
I'm following her on Twitter, and I can see like, I don't know. I'm expecting her to be funny because I haven't. That's the thing with me. When I don't know if something's funny, it bothers me. Like, I'm like, is Girls funny? Is it supposed to be funny? Because it doesn't make me laugh. Is that comedy? I don't know. And it confuses me, and because I'm confused, I don't like it. I don't like being confused.
Well, before things get more heated, let's move on then. Before Yami has like a mental breakdown about what
really,
Girls is funny.
Is it supposed to be funny? Is it?
Occasionally, yes.
I think so.
At times it's supposed to be really sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
So let's do lead actress in a drama series. You have Michelle Dockery for Downton Abbey, Juliana Margulies for The Good Wife, Claire Danes for Homeland, Robin Wright for House of Cards, Lizzie Kaplan for Masters of Sex, and Kerry Washington for Scandal. I am going with Lizzie Kaplan on this one because I think she's just so used to, like, we're normally used to seeing her in such comedic roles, and she pulls off this role so well, and it's so believable, and like you never for an instant doubt that like she has this, and she gives it such like both a modern spin, even though it's a period piece. Like it feels both like a modern portrayal, but it also totally fits within the time period. So I love her performance, and I'd be totally happy if she wins. That show seems to be getting some good momentum, so I'm hopeful. But what do you guys think?
Jonathan, would it be wrong to me for me to say that I hope she wins, but for Mean Girls, like I hope they give it to Janice Ian?
Oh, I think that's totally that works. That and Bachelorette. She's really funny in Bachelorette too.
I haven't seen that freaking movie because it has such an unfortunate name that I can't find it online anywhere.
Oh right, you would get like everything else. It would be like all the Bachelorette stuff.
I want Lizzie Kaplan to win as well. But for her one like episode in New Girl, going obscure.
Oh right. Yeah, I forgot she was in that.
Yeah.
Who did she even play? I don't even remember.
She was a girlfriend of Nick. That she was a lawyer, and she was super like angry as a person.
Okay, yeah.
In comparison to Jess's like super nice nature.
Wow, he's had a lot of like famous girlfriends because Olivia Munn was one of his girlfriends.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the waitress from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah, right. When she was.
Right.
Yeah. But so Julia, who do you have?
I gotta, props it up to Shonda Rhimes. Kerry Washington scandal. That being said, I think based on talent, it would be Lizzie Kaplan, but because I think really, Kerry Washington does the exact same scene over and over and over and over again in Scandal. Do you know what I mean, Jonathan? You watch it, right? It's always like, oh, Fitz, I love you, I hate you, here's a really cool speech. You look really angry, walk away. It's always the same thing. But she does it really well. But
I think if anyone wins from Scandal, it should be the set design crew who had to hide her pregnancy the whole year, and they used just the weirdest ways to do it.
The elbow, like a raised
like a
elbow,
coat hanger.
Raised knee.
Yeah, or the one to me was like there was like a coat hanger or something full of clothes like in the middle of a hospital that was somehow like I don't know. They just gave up at some point. Well, like just throw things there. It's fine. But yeah, if Olivia Pope wins, that would be cool. I'd hope her speech would sound like Shonda Rhimes. Her acceptance speech would be written by Shonda Rhimes, but we'll see.
I'm also really I'm really upset that Grey's Anatomy has stopped being nominated for Emmys. And so if anything Shonda Rhimes wins, I'll be really happy.
And how about we wrap up just with like the two biggest ones of the night, outstanding comedy and drama. Comedy, you've got Big Bang Theory, Louis, Modern Family, Orange is the New Black, Veep, and Silicon Valley. Orange is the New Black is my clear winner, also colored by having just seen Season 2, but Season 1 I think is just so good, and that is easily one of my new favorite shows of the last like 4 or 5 years. So hands down for me, that wins. Will it win? I have no idea, but I wish it does. What about you guys?
Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
I want the underdog to win.
Surprise one. Oh yeah, it's definitely the underdog. Which the lead in it was on this week's You're the Worst.
Yeah,
which was Thomas Middle.
I love him. He plays every type of character very well. Like he could play a crazy guy. He could play a hipster loser.
And I think if Silicon Valley wins, it will probably be exclusively for that 10-minute dick joke they do in the finale, which is the best dick joke in history.
It'll be the Emmy for the best dick joke. That's what it will be.
Best dick joke goes to.
Best dick joke goes to Silicon Valley. Mike
Every
Jones,
year.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
What were the options again, Jonathan?
Big Bang Theory, Louis, Modern Family, Orange is the New Black, Silicon Valley, and Veep.
So I personally want Veep to win, but I would also be equally as happy if Silicon Valley won. So HBO, pay me my money. I said both of your shows. Give me your money. But yeah,
when Orange is the New Black beats all your favorites, I'll be laughing on the podcast by myself in this Google Hangout.
I can't do like the really cool thing where you let your finger hit your other finger and it makes the sound.
I've never been.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I can't do it, so it just looks like I'm DJing.
Yeah,
just like, hey, what's up, guys? Looks like I'm doing the dumb like John Cena thing, which like I don't even watch wrestling.
See me?
Exactly. Also, I probably shouldn't insult anything he does as dumb because he could probably kill me if he wanted to.
He would kill you. Yeah.
Murder you in your sleep.
Exactly. Very specific. Have you been talking to John Cena?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're besties.
Of course. That makes sense. He is not nominated this year, but so we'll move on to Outstanding Drama, which is Breaking Bad, Downton Abbey, Game of Thrones, House of Cards, Mad Men, and True Detective. I'm going with Breaking Bad, as I said before. Ozymandias was on this season, and Ozymandias is not only one of the best Breaking Bad episodes ever, it was one of the best episodes of that year. It's one of the best episodes of TV, I think, in the past, 5-10 years, decade, maybe, all time. And I think that show deserves it for that episode alone. But anyway, what about you guys?
Best drama. Yeah, I think I have to give it to True Detective. I think what True Detective has done for anthologies is what Breaking Bad did for drama, and so I think I think personally we've honored Breaking Bad. They've all won awards, multiple awards. we've given them the recognition. I think we should give Nick Pizzolatto.
But they can win more.
But they could win more. They could win more. But I think what Nick Pizzolatto did. I mean, this underdog show, like he's first time showrunner, really first time big writer for a huge network, or not network, for a huge cable network. He just came out of nowhere, blew it out of the park, created this huge cultural phenomenon, and for that, I think they absolutely deserve the Emmy for it.
Yeah,
Plus, I agree. Matthew McConaughey, guys, we want the Matthew to continue.
Which is fair.
I agree. I've never watched like any of those, but I would think that with Breaking Bad was the same case where it was a phenomenon. Like it was crazy. Everybody freaking watched that show. I didn't watch it, but everybody did.
Only in the last year.
And that everybody loved it so, but Breaking Bad has won so many awards, whereas True Detective managed to do what Breaking Bad did in 7 episodes. So that's a big deal. To be able to become so big and having people hashtag True Detective with random 2 pairings, that's a big deal that it was able to do that in such a small amount of time.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you're both wrong, and Breaking Bad's a better show, but whatever.
Whatever.
I mean, it might be. I've never watched. Again, I have not watched these shows. So.
But yeah, I think it'll be an exciting night, at least more so than it has been the past few years. I think on both sides, many of the categories are super stacked, so it should be pretty exciting to watch.
Stacks on stacks on stacks.
Exactly, and we will talk about that probably next week. We may have to do, you'll be in PAX, we may have to do just a special broadcast.
I was wrong. I realized halfway through that 26th.
That's not PAX.
It's fine, yeah.
Okay.
The 31st I'm at PAX. That's Sunday.
Okay. Let's go through our entire schedules for the listeners, just so they know when we can find
next
us.
Week, I'm going to be sleeping between the hours of...
I usually stare at myself in the bathroom mirror from the hours of 6 a.m. till 10 p.m. every day.
Here's a list of my fears.
Just mess up.
Here's a list of my fears.
It's my favorite Family Guy joke.
Nice.
So that worked out really well. But yeah, so I'm excited for the show. We'll see what happens, and we'll tell you all about what disappointed us after it airs. But I think that about wraps it up this week. Not too much else to discuss in the world of TV.
Wait, really, really quick.
Yes.
Julia, did you watch the latest You're the Worst?
No, should I watch it? Is it better?
Yeah.
It was pretty damn good, yeah.
Past 2 episodes have been really, really good.
Yeah,
okay, I'm going to get caught up. Yeah. I've got 2 days off to do nothing but watch movies and television, so that's exactly what I'm going to do.
It's a solid sitcom episode.
Yeah, it's figured itself out more. It still has some not great points, but it definitely the ups are way higher than it was from the pilot. But that also reminds me, since you have 2 days to do nothing, if anyone else happens to have 9 days to do nothing, the Simpsons Marathon starts August 21st.
Right? Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be watching the crap out of that.
I will probably watch all of that until I start work the week after, so we'll see how that goes.
I'm going to be watching it at work. I don't care.
Works out. And I'm really excited for when they launch the app. I'm not sure if it's supposed to launch at the same time, Simpsons World, but hopefully.
Very great marketing, if so.
Oh, yeah. I will be on that app as soon as it launches.
It will launch for you guys. I don't know if you know this, but Canada is basically a third world country in the United States' eyes, so we don't get
Rightly so,
no,
I must say.
You poor Canadians. You don't get
America.
Do you know we still meet Americans who come up? I mean, not all Americans. You guys are very intelligent people. I mean, I love you both dearly, but we still get some Americans who come up and they're like, "You have HBO up here?" And we're like, "No, we're not a third world country.
You guys have working electricity. That is amazing. I am so happy for you. That is so nice.
We just got working plumbing. I mean, it's great. Now we don't have to go outside all the time. It's fantastic.
Oh my god.
Tell me what kind of horse is attached to your buggy?
A black one.
JD is
racist.
So oh my god. Oh my god, it's adorable. She speaks American.
It's really cute. I mean, it's nice that you've conformed to the greatest country in the world.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for the acceptance.
And so we lost all of our Canadian listeners.
Look, Miami is hardly America, right? It's hardly America. So I'm sad.
Though speaking of foreign listeners, we have 2 or 3 in New Zealand. So
what?
That's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
Hi, New Zealand.
Good day. That's Australia, whatever.
You guys have a really...
Chur is a New Zealand thing. Everybody say chur. I don't know what it means, so we might be...
they have a really sexy tattoo artist who was on LA Ink with Kat Von D.
Congratulations.
His name was Dan.
But yeah, so that's exciting to see. But I think other than that, we'll wrap up the show. So we're not podcasting 24/7, so you can sometimes find us at other places. You can find us all on Twitter. I'm on Twitter at JMDornbush. Yami?
At Idsanty, IDSANTY.
And Julia?
At Loudmouth Julia, where I'll be sure to tweet out that Craig Ferguson, Chris Hardwick, Doctor Who debate. So please don't kill me, Internet, for that. I'm sorry. I rectified my error.
I want to hear that.
And also, you can write into the podcast to be part of the show at theverytvpodcast@gmail.com with any questions or comments that you have. Also, don't forget to rate and subscribe to us on iTunes. It is super helpful, and we appreciate it. We're on the new and noteworthy tab now, so that is awesome.
Woo!
You can also find the podcast on Twitter at TheVeryTV and on Facebook at facebook.com/TheVeryTVPodcast. This segment is now turning into like a 20-minute thing itself.
Yeah, really quick. We're also starting YouTube stuff. So be
yes,
sure to
which if you're watching this
channel.
episode on YouTube, you're seeing us for the first time.
Yeah, so be sure to subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah, I think we'll try to make that youtube.com/TheVeryTVPodcast.
Wonderful. You'll be able to see our beautiful faces.
Exactly, and you can also follow us on Tumblr at theverytv.tumblr.com.
We have a Tumblr?
Yes, wow, Julia.
We have a Tumblr! What?
Again, guys, my emails, whatever. You know.
Nobody reads JD's emails.
Behind the scenes. I know that, but I write them for my own enjoyment.
No, you are a grandmaster for this podcast. We should say thank you, really, because you do so much.
Thank you for texting me to check my email.
I've come close to being like, should I just copy and paste this email into a text?
Don't copy and paste it into a text. But it's very helpful whenever you're like, Yami, read the fucking email.
So I think that's all of the places you can find us. You can also Friendster us or MySpace us. Yes.
Find us in real life.
Also find it if you spot us on the street, just be like, hey, I know that person.
If you don't get
and if you're in Toronto and you know where the Hannibal people are, let me know. Because I don't know.
And then I could stalk them.
And also thank you to Brian Altano for the use of his song 1 AM off his album Misanthrope for our theme song. You can download that track and the entire album at misanthropealbum.com for free or pay what you want. It's awesome and you should do it.
Yeah.
And other than that, you can find Yami on twinfinite.net.
Yes.
You can find Julia at canoe.ca.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find me right now at jmdornbush.com, which is my blog where I just sit there and wait for people to comment.
And they're very good. I like everything you guys do is brilliant, and I'm envious, and I love it.
And it's adorable that you guys up there in Canada can write. It's really.
Oh my God, I know.
Really
I'm really proud of you guys.
It's so quirky, and I really like seeing that.
It's so Zoe. It's Zoe.
No. If she was Canadian, I would have to change my nationality. I think.
Oh my God.
We apologize to Zooey Deschanel if you were listening.
For the record, Zooey Deschanel, I think you're great. I think you've become too reliant on your bangs. They are 90% of you, but I think that you're great.
And this has been
I like her
the
bangs.
Zooey Deschanel podcast.
She is 90% her bangs. If she took them off, no one would tell who the hell she is.
We wouldn't know.
Everyone would think she's Emily Deschanel, her sister.
Oh, that's true.
I didn't know she had a sister until like last week, and I was like, how did I not see this? They look exactly alike.
They presented an award together at the Emmys. Not last year, 2 years ago.
No.
3 years
I'm
ago.
probably just like, who's this woman?
And on next week's episode, we will go through the entire Deschanel chronology. The entire family tree. But otherwise, thank you for listening, and we'll talk some TV to you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Stop the broadcast there.